Joining us now in an exclusive interview is Palmer Luckey, Anduril founder. Palmer, it's great to have you back on.
It's glad to be back on.
So I want to start right there with these milestones, and specifically, we got to work on this name, YFQ-44A, which is your collaborative combat aircraft for the Air Force. Just had a maiden flight on Halloween. How significant is this milestone? And perhaps even more importantly, what does this mean in terms of production now?
Well, it's a huge milestone for us because this is, an autonomous fighter. You push a button to tell it to take off, and it goes off and it performs the rest of the mission. And that's exactly what we just demonstrated at the first flight. You don't have someone who's flying this thing from a remote control. You don't have a person telling it what to do. It does what you told it to do ahead of time, and it just goes down and executes on that mission. In terms of the name, so Y is a designation for a production representative prototype. F is for fighter, Q is for unmanned, 44 is a designation, and A is for alpha. So the actual name of the aircraft, when it's in full production, is going to just be the FQ-44. But for this initial demonstrator, you're right, it's the YFQ-44A.
Yeah, and you're also expanding internationally. You just opened this factory in Australia. We're seeing defense spending grow, not just here stateside, but globally as well. How does this position you?
Well, the thing that the YFQ-44A and the Ghost Shark have in common is that we've built these factories that are able to manufacture both of them at very large scale using largely autonomous manufacturing processes that are very simple to set up. We're designing products that can be made at scale at a price that is much cheaper than a lot of these legacy programs. And in both cases, we've gone from initial concept to production in extremely very short periods of time. Like the FQ-44, we went from selection to first flight in 556 days. That's the fastest a fighter program has moved in decades. With the Ghost Shark in Australia, we've in less than 3 years gone from the initial contract to real production robotic submarines coming off of our line in Sydney. That is extraordinarily fast, and I hope that the rest of the industry can kind of take notes from us and do things in a similar way.
So along those lines, and I say this knowing there's an information article just a couple weeks ago about the cash burn at Anduril, as you do stand up all these factories and you do scale all of this production, can you build and deliver to the military what it needs when it needs it?
Absolutely. And one of the reasons we want to spend our own money is because it allows us to move so much faster than relying on the government to pay for everything. I mean, one good example of that is the government shutdown right now. I'm sure they're going to work it out in the long run, but right now, Anduril's still moving through at full throttle. All our test sites are operational. All of our programs are running. All of our products are still moving forward. And it's the same thing with our factories. I mean, the FQ-44 factory, which is going to start turning out Furies next year, production Furies. We started building that before we even won the contract because we were so confident that if we won the contract, we were desperately going to need it. And if we didn't win it, we'd be able to use it for making our other products. And so, look, we're burning a lot of money, but it is being put to very, very efficient use. We're not burning money on nap pods. We're not burning money on having parties. We're burning money building factories that the United States desperately needs for its national security.
All right. So we're talking about spending, though. We had Palantir down today despite another really strong quarter. There's concerns, there's debate, at least among investors, that a bubble is potentially inflating across this AI ecosystem with all the money that is being spent. How do you see it?
Well, Anduril's interesting because we're the AI company that kind of preempted a lot of this AI hype. The name Anduril Industries, the acronym is AI. And 8 years ago, we couldn't even talk about that because AI was seen as this technology of the future, never something that was actually going to work. Now AI is the hottest thing ever. Look, AI powers all of our systems. The FQ-44 has a Lattice brain. The Ghost Shark has a Lattice brain. All of our systems are running on our Lattice AI brains that powers all of our stuff. But I think that we're very different from a lot of these other AI companies in that AI is not the product. It's just the thing that makes the product work. I'm not selling AI software. I'm not selling an AI brain. I'm selling fighter jets. I'm selling submarines. I'm selling missiles. I'm selling heads-up displays. I'm selling rifles. I'm selling force fields that happen to be powered by AI. So I think it's a very, very different category than a lot of these other AI companies. And there's a world where this is a bubble. There's a world where it's not. I got to admit, I'm not really a finance person. I'm a techno head. I type on the computer really, really well. It's your job to tell us if it's a bubble or not. Okay.
So let's shift gears here a little bit, because just a couple weeks ago, conditional approval from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency for another startup. So media reports tell me, Erebor, tell me about it.
I think it's a little too early to talk much about it, but as you know, I've been working on a side project to build a bank that is extremely reliable, really to build the bank that startups like, to build a bank that is the type of bank that defense startups need, that technology startups need. A lot of the people, when Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, it almost took a lot of companies with them. The existing market is not really doing what needs to be done, and it's a little too early for me to be out there shilling it. We have a preliminary conditional approval, so I think right now I'm funding all of the operations myself. I think at some point in the future there will be more to say, but the bottom line is the U.S. used to have banks that were in the business of holding your money and helping companies succeed, and too many of them have forgotten that their job is not to be cute and financialize everything to the nth degree, even at the expense of their customers.